Welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest content. Alright, before we start playing with all the cool hacking tools, we need to talk about Kali Linux. It's like the ultimate playground for cybersecurity enthusiasts. Now Kali is a bit different from your everyday operating system like Windows or macOS. It's specifically designed for penetration testing, which is basically a fancy way of saying ethical hacking. Think of it like this. Kali Linux comes preloaded with a toolbox full of awesome hacking utilities. It's like having a Swiss Army knife of cybersecurity tools at your fingertips. You can use these tools to test the security of websites, networks, and even your own devices. But hold on, before you rush off to download Kali Linux, there are a few things you should know. Firstly, it's not exactly a walk in the park to use. Kali is powerful, but it's also designed for people who know what they're doing. Don't worry though, we'll guide you through everything. Secondly, you need to be super careful when using Kali Linux. These tools are powerful and they can be used for both good and bad purposes. It's like having a chainsaw. It can be super useful for cutting down trees, but you wouldn't want to use it without proper training and safety precautions, right? So if you're just starting out, we recommend setting up Kali Linux in a virtual machine. This way, it's safely contained within your existing operating system, and you won't accidentally break anything on your computer. Now that we've got that covered, let's move on to our first awesome hacking tool. Let's kick things off with a bang and introduce you to Burp Suite, one of the most popular and versatile web vulnerability scanners out there. Think of Burp Suite as a detective for websites. You see, when you visit a website, your browser sends and receives a bunch of information behind the scenes. This information is hidden from plain sight, but is crucial for the website to work properly. Burp Suite acts as a middleman between your browser and the website, allowing you to intercept, inspect, and even modify this information. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, by analyzing this hidden web traffic, Burp Suite can help you uncover security weaknesses that could be exploited by attackers. It's like checking the locks on your doors and windows to make sure your house is secure. But that's not all. Burp Suite also comes with a bunch of other handy tools for testing web applications. You can use it to test for SQL injection vulnerabilities, cross-site scripting flaws, and a whole lot more. Don't worry if some of these terms sound like gibberish right now. We'll break them down in plain English and show you how to use Burp Suite to find and fix these vulnerabilities. Ready to get your hands dirty with Burp Suite? Awesome! The good news is that installing Burp Suite is a piece of cake, especially if you're already using Kali Linux. You see, Kali comes pre-installed with a bunch of popular hacking tools, including Burp Suite. Yep, that's right, it's already there, waiting for you to unleash its power. To fire it up, simply open a terminal window and type in Burp Suite. Hit enter and voila! Burp Suite will launch, ready to start hunting down those vulnerabilities. Now, the first time you launch Burp Suite, you might be greeted by a configuration wizard. Don't panic. This wizard simply helps you set up Burp Suite to work with your browser. Just follow the on-screen instructions, and you'll be good to go in no time. Once Burp Suite is up and running, you'll be greeted by its main interface. It might look a bit intimidating at first with all its panels and tabs, but trust me, it's not as complicated as it seems. In the next section, we'll walk you through some basic Burp Suite tasks, like intercepting web traffic and using its built-in scanner to automatically find vulnerabilities. Section 5. Burp Suite in action, uncovering website weaknesses. Let's dive into the fun part and see Burp Suite in action. One of the coolest things about Burp Suite is its ability to intercept and modify web traffic between your browser and a website. It's like having a secret listening device that lets you eavesdrop on their conversation. To activate this superpower, you need to configure your browser to work with Burp Suite. Don't worry, it's a simple process. Burp Suite even provides a handy step-by-step guide within its interface. Just look for the proxy tab and follow the instructions. Once your browser is set up, open up your favorite website and start browsing. As you click on links and fill out forms, you'll notice that Burp Suite's proxy tab springs to life, capturing all the traffic flowing through it. Now here comes the fun part. You can actually modify this traffic on the fly. For example, you could change the text of a form submission, tamper with cookie values, or even inject your own code into a website's response. Now I know what you're thinking. Linus, this sounds dangerous. And you're right, it can be. That's why it's crucial to only use these techniques on websites you own or have permission to test. Remember, ethical hacking is all about responsible disclosure. If you find a vulnerability, report it to the website owner so they can fix it. Section 6, Metasploit, the hacker's Swiss Army knife. Ready for another awesome hacking tool? Let me introduce you to Metasploit, the Swiss Army knife of penetration testing. If Burp Suite is the detective of the hacking world, then Metasploit is the master of exploits. You see, exploits are like special tools designed to take advantage of specific vulnerabilities in software. Think of it like this. Imagine you find a loose brick in a wall. That's a vulnerability. Now imagine you have a crowbar that fits perfectly into that loose brick, allowing you to pry open the wall. That crowbar is an exploit. Metasploit comes with a massive library of pre-built exploits that you can use to test the security of various systems, from web servers to databases to even individual computers. But that's not all. Metasploit also allows you to create your own custom exploits, giving you the flexibility to target specific vulnerabilities and bypass security measures. Now I know what you're thinking. Linus, this sounds seriously powerful. Can I really use this tool without getting into trouble? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Just like with any powerful tool, it's all about using it responsibly and ethically. Section 7, Mastering Metasploit Installation and Basic Commands. Ready to unleash the power of Metasploit? Great. Just like Burp Suite, Metasploit is already included in Kali Linux, making it super easy to get started. To launch Metasploit, simply open a terminal window and type in MSF console. Hit enter and watch as Metasploit bursts to life, ready to take on your commands. Now, the Metasploit console might look a bit intimidating at first. It's a command line interface, which means you'll be typing in commands instead of clicking on buttons. But don't worry, it's not as scary as it looks. Let's start with some basic commands to get you familiar with the environment. Type in help to see a list of available commands. To search for a specific exploit, use the search command followed by your search term. For example, to search for exploits related to a specific operating system, you could type search O as Windows. Once you've found an exploit you want to use, you can get more information about it by typing info followed by the exploit name. This will show you the exploit's description, target platform, and any required options. Now, before you go any further, remember that using Metasploit against systems you don't own or have permission to test is illegal and unethical. Section 8. Metasploit Unleashed, Simulating Real-World Attacks. Alright, now that you know the basics of Metasploit, let's see how it can be used to simulate real-world attacks. This is where things get really interesting. With Metasploit, you can launch a wide range of attacks, from simple denial-of-service attacks to more complex multi-stage exploits that can give you complete control over a target system. For example, let's say you want to test the security of a web server. You could use Metasploit to launch a brute force attack against the server's login page, trying out different username and password combinations until you find one that works. Or, you could use Metasploit to exploit a known vulnerability in the server's software, giving you access to its underlying operating system. From there, you could escalate your privileges, install backdoors, and potentially gain complete control over the server. Now, I know what you're thinking, Linus. This is starting to sound like something out of a hacker movie. And you're right, it kind of is, but remember, we're using these tools for good, to learn about cybersecurity and make the digital world a safer place. By simulating real-world attacks, we can identify weaknesses in our own systems and fix them before the bad guys can exploit them. Section 9, Hacking for Good. Your ethical journey begins. And there you have it. We've explored the exciting world of ethical hacking, dived into the powerful tools of Kali Linux, and learned how to use Burp Suite and Metasploit to uncover and fix vulnerabilities. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. It's crucial to use these tools ethically and legally. Always obtain proper authorization before testing any systems that you do not own. The knowledge you gain from ethical hacking can open doors to a rewarding career in cybersecurity. Imagine being on the front lines, protecting organizations from cyber threats, and making a real difference in the world. So keep learning, keep practicing, and never stop exploring the ever-evolving world of cybersecurity. Until next